Hi guys, Diana Plant here with Plant Nutrition. On today's vlog, I am going to show you guys some of the books that I have in this big storage tote that is going into storage underneath my house. It's mainly nutrition books, some other types of books as well, but mainly nutrition. And there is not enough room upstairs for them anymore because they used to be in my office, which is now Noah's room, my son. So I don't want to put them into storage underneath my house. I'd like them to be in my daily living space because I reference them a lot, but there's just not enough room up here right now. So I'm putting them in storage, and I thought it would just be fun to show you some of the random books in my library. So I'm just gonna dive right in here. I don't totally remember everything that's in here, so we'll just pick stuff out and talk about them as we go. So the first thing is, it's not a book, it's actually like a little, just a little pamphlet thing here. This was from, in 2014, I went to a talk in Kelowna. I don't remember the guy's name who gave it, but he was from the Hippocrates Health Institute. And this little pamphlet is on raw vegan series on juicing. Very interesting. Then I have an alternative medicine encyclopedia book, just covering all of the different types of natural health modalities. I have Pregnancy and Birth, Your Questions Answered. So this was just, I had on hand last year because I was going through pregnancy for the first time. So this was just a good reference for me. I have a little booklet here on Iridology Simplified by Dr. Bernard Jensen, which is so interesting. I've been really into studying iridology, and although I don't have a camera to practice iridology, I've gotten a lot out of his book reading this, because there's another book in here as well. I'll just get that right now. The Science and Practice of Iridology by Bernard Jensen. I absolutely love this book. I got this at a used bookstore in Saskatchewan, and yeah, just a total wealth of information. I really, really love Bernard Jensen and all of the books that he puts out. I've learned a tremendous amount from him about natural health and the human body. Moving right along, I have a book here, Chronic Fatigue Syndrome and the Yeast Connection by Dr. William Crook. I really love the simplification of how this author writes, and he has really good illustrations in here as well. I also have his book, The Yeast Connection, like his original book, and it's really, really good, especially as someone who struggled with being fatigued a lot. It taught me a lot about the chronic fatigue syndrome and the yeast connection in general. That's all I'll say about that. Very good book. If this is something you feel like you struggle with yeast, this is a fantastic book. Nature Has a Remedy by Dr. Bernard Jensen. I got this from our used bookstore here in town, and it is very good. I haven't devoured this one as much as his other books, but I have dabbled in it here and there, and it's quite good. The Ultra Mind Solution by Dr. Mark Hyman. Very, very good book. I got this it was 2014 or 2015 that I got this book, and it was one of the first books that I started reading that really gave me an understanding of functional medicine and just the root cause of illness. And this specifically, so it's the simple way to defeat depression, overcome anxiety, and sharpen your mind. Absolute wealth of information. I am always dabbling in and out of this book. I would highly suggest that book for anyone who is having mental health issues at all. This is just a journal notebook. Not sure what this is. Nutrition Studies. So this is just a notebook where I'm taking notes from these different books. Sorry, I'm going kind of fast because I have like 20 books in here and I don't want this video to be a half an hour long. So just cruising through. Eat Dirt by Dr. Josh Axe. Why leaky gut may be the root cause of your health problems and 5 surprising steps to cure it. Any gut health issues, I would absolutely suggest this. Autoimmunity, I would suggest this because a lot of autoimmunity is rooted in leaky gut. There are so many diseases and symptoms that you can be experiencing as a result of having a leaky gut. And you may not have ever heard of it, and you may not think that, you might think that you're not affected by it, but it's very likely that you are, okay? A lot of us are going to have gut distress in the 21st century, and there is a lot to learn from learning about leaky gut and how to heal your gut and how to take care of your gut. Very important. And Dr. Josh Axe in general has a wonderful website with a ton of free resources if you didn't want to purchase the book. This book, Blood Never Lies, this is a book on blood analysis that I have dabbled in and out of. I really liked the pictures in this book, and I like the simplification of this man's way of writing. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Ted Aloysius. Okay, sorry about that, butchered that. Okay, next one is Grain Brain by Dr. David Perlmutter. This book, I would highly suggest this book. I'd highly suggest all my books. I wrote a review on this on my blog. So on plantnutrition.com, I wrote a complete review on the Grain Brain book. I've had this for 6 years. I dabble in and out of this book a lot. So it's about the surprising truth about wheat, carbs, and sugar, your brain's silent killers. So even though it's mainly talking about the brain, I feel like it taught me a tremendous amount about blood sugar and blood sugar's effect on brain health, and taught me a lot about the negative effects of eating gluten and grains in general. It is a very good book. Next one, The Liver and Gallbladder Miracle Cleanse, an all-natural at-home flush to purify and rejuvenate your body. I've never actually done the cleanse, but it has taught me a lot, mainly about the liver and gallbladder and how they are so connected to the rest of the body. Trying to think if there's anything specific I want to share from this book. I know that I really, really loved the first half of this book. The second half, where it goes into the actual how you do the cleanse and stuff, I have not got there because I'm just not ready to take that step. But anyhow, good book overall. Béchamp or Pasteur, A Lost Chapter in the History of Biology by Ethel Hume, with a preface by R. Pearson. I really loved this book. I haven't 100% finished it. There were a couple chapters that I did not finish, but for the most part, I read like 80% of this book, and it is very, very good. I don't even know where to go with this. It's kind of like a big, I'll just say, okay, so the germ theory is kind of covering things about the germ theory, monomorphism versus pleomorphism, the path that we've chosen to take in science and biology. This is covering a different path, and how Louis Pasteur was actually a fraud and a liar and a plagiarist of Béchamp. And the reason that I got this is because it was connected to my studies in live blood analysis, because Béchamp was not one of the founders of blood analysis, but a lot of the history of blood analysis goes back to that scientist. So it is very, very good. It also covers a lot of the history of vaccinations and again, some of the poor, misguided science behind vaccinations and that connection to Louis Pasteur. I would highly suggest that if you're interested in any of what I said there. Moving right along, Renew Your Life by Dr. Brenda Watson. This is about mainly digestion and detoxification, constipation, heartburn, candida, and IBS. This is a great resource book. As a holistic nutrition consultant, I was always dabbling in this, making protocols for people. I think it's a really good one to have on the shelf if you're a nutrition consultant or you're just into natural health. Tissue Cleansing Through Bowel Management by Dr. Bernard Jensen. This book taught me a lot about the bowels and bowel health and cleansing the bowels. It's very good. What do I want to say there? Essentially, where we are today in society, bowels and bowel health, and talking about that is like a no-no. It's like this taboo thing that we're all very embarrassed about. But bowel health is so important. Again, just with the gut health that I was talking about earlier, the root of our health is like in the bowels. You need to have healthy bowels and a healthy gut if you want to live out a healthy life. Okay, so it's extremely important to take care of the bowels and learn about them and learn how to take care of them. And this book is one that I would highly suggest if you have any gut health issues or bowel health issues. Nutrition and Vitamin Therapy by Dr. Michael Lesser. This was one that I picked up from the used bookstore here in town and read it front to back. It's a very interesting read, going over just the basics of vitamins and each different vitamin. And he had a bit of an orthomolecular approach, which I really appreciated. Understanding Nutrition. This was just a textbook that I had picked up from a thrift shop, and I like to reference it sometimes. It's a conventionally written nutrition textbook, so sometimes I like to compare the holistic nutrition view with the conventional nutrition view. I think it's very handy to do so. Herbal Combinations. This is a book that the pastor's wife at our church had given me this book that she had, and it is really interesting. It's about 40 years old, and it helped me to dabble. That's not what I was trying to say. It helped me to learn about herbs and helped me to kind of dabble into learning about herbs. I do not know a ton about herbs. So I enjoy getting into this once in a while if I have something specific to look up. High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. I've read this book a few times, like 2 or 3 times, and sometimes I'll listen to it on audio on YouTube because the audiobook is free on YouTube. I really, really enjoy this book. I find it very motivating and energizing, and I was just going to share with you the main 6 habits here. I'll just give you a little sneak peek. So the habits: habit 1, seek clarity. Habit 2, generate energy. Habit 3, raise necessity. Habit 4, increase productivity. Habit 5, develop influence. And habit 6, demonstrate courage. I love Brendon Burchard. I have several of his books. The Insulin Time Bomb Diffused. I got this from a thrift shop. I haven't actually got into it too much. I just picked it up because I am very into insulin and blood sugar balancing, type 2 diabetes, obesity. High insulin is the root cause of many, many health diseases that we see today. Health diseases, is that a word? Health issues that we see today, chronic diseases that we see today. High insulin is the root cause of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cancer. So I picked it up for that reason. It was kind of hard to get into though. That's the honest truth. I could probably purge that one actually. Fat for Fuel Ketogenic Cookbook by Dr. Joseph Mercola and Pete Evans. This I picked up at Costco. I haven't used the cookbook that much. I felt like it was like a little bit too gourmet for how I cook. So for that reason, I haven't used it that much, but there's a really good chunk of the book that is just information written by Dr. Mercola that I really, really love, just about eating high fat, low carb, mitochondrial health, beating insulin resistance, beating leptin resistance, mitochondrial restart, which I really loved. And after reading the beginning of this book here, I actually just bought his actual book, Fat for Fuel by Dr. Mercola, which, if that didn't make sense, he wrote a separate book, which is all book, where as opposed to this one, it's like was just a little bit of information in the first chunk and then the rest were recipes. So I read the first chunk and then bought the book, and very, very good information about eating high fat, low carb, and how that is the healthiest way to eat. So I would encourage you to dabble into that. I need to stop saying dabble. Dabble into this, dabble into that. What else? It Starts with Food by Dallas and Melissa Hartwig. This was one of the very first books that I bought on my nutrition journey. I bought it from Costco back in 2014, or it could have been even 2013. So it's covering, if you've ever heard of the Whole30, this is the book that is covering the Whole30. And that's mainly how I try and eat. That's like the foundation of how I eat. I'm not always perfect with it, but that is the diet that I do try and follow the most. So it's really good. It covers why grains are not optimal for human health, why gluten isn't optimal for human health. Covers the seed oils like omega-6, the omega-6 inflammatory seed oils. It goes over the grains, legumes, dairy, sugar, sweeteners. It's a really, really good book for building, to learn how to build your nutrition foundation, and goes over the science of why go grain-free, why go dairy-free. So this is a really good introductory book for that. And we're coming to a close here. Nutritional Literature Research Handbook for CSN students. This is the last one here. This was just a book that I had to purchase when I was in nutrition school at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. I haven't got too much into it other than when I took the schooling back in 2015. So that is everything. Leave me a comment and let me know if any one of these books piqued your interest, or if you thought you might buy one of these books as a result of me sharing. Let me know what was interesting to you. And I actually have another bin that's full of books that has to also go into storage. And leave me a comment if you'd like to see what's in the second bin, and I will share with you the books that are in that bin tomorrow if you leave a comment and let me know that you're interested. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.